Good afternoon, Julie. Today I'm going to present the recovery of third quarter biology grade. During this presentation, I will explain different topics like biodiversity, ecosystem, the phenomena influence in the ecosystem, demography, and biochemical. Biodiversity. Biodiversity refers to the variety of life forms on Earth, including species, genetic, and ecosystem. It is for the balance of ecosystem and human well-being as it provides ecosystem services such as pollination, climate regulation, provides food and medicines. Some examples of biodiversity are species, as the animals, and plants, as the tigers, elephants, oaks, and roses. Another example is the genetic varieties of corn, breeds of livestock. Also ecosystem as the forest tropical temperature. In the same way, the aquatic and terrestrial habitats are examples of the biodiversity. Now let's understand what is ecosystem. Ecosystem is a system formed by a community of living and non-living organisms such as plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms that interact with each other and their physical environment like soil, water, and climate. Ecosystem can change in size from a small pond to a forest or an ocean. The components of ecosystem are the biotype, the non-living element of the ecosystem. Some examples are water, air, soil, climate. Another harm is biocenosis, the living organisms that inhabit a specific area and interact with each other. Some examples of ecosystem are the rainforest that has tropical temperatures and a bunch of different animals, the aquatic ecosystem as river, lakes, and ocean that contains biocenosis as fishes, and deserts that has vegetation adapted to arid conditions. There are two types of phenomena that influence the ecosystem. The natural that contains climate that affects biodiversity and distribution of species. Natural disaster as earthquakes, floods, fires, etc. Ecological succession that change the species composition after disturbances. And biogeochemical as the cycles water, carbon, and nutrient cycle. The second phenomena is anthropogenic caused by humans, as the deforestation reduces the biodiversity and alters water cycles. Pollution that affects water, soil, and air quality. Climate change that impacts habitats in species. Urbanization that fragments natural habitats. Invasive species that displace native species. Now let's talk about demography. Demography is the science that studies human population and their characteristics, for example, size, distribution, density, age, and sex, as they change over time due to phenomena as birth rate, mortality, and migration. The main aspects of demography are population size, number of total in a given area. Another one is population structure, thus distribution B, age, sex, and other social characteristics. Also, population dynamics. Change in the population over time included births and death rates. Finally, migration, that movements of people between different areas, either within a country or between countries. Now let's take a look of an example of demographic in Colombia. Regarding population size is 53 millions. Respect of age structure are is 64% of the population has between 15 to 64 years old. In respect of distribution by sex, 51% are women and 49 are men. Intense birth rate 1.7% births per woman, and mortality rate 7.5% of the total population. Immigration is 4.2% of the total population. Finally, in urbanization, 80.6% of the population is urban. Respect biochemistry is the branch of science that studies the chemical process and biological molecules that occurs in living organisms. It focuses on the structure, function, and reaction of biomolecules such as proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and nucleic acids, as well as their role in biological process. The main areas of study in biochemistry are metabolism that study chemical reactions that transform molecules within cells, including the production and use of energy. Other is structure of biomolecules that investigate the structure of proteins, nucleic acids, and other compounds, determines their function. Also, enzymology that examines how enzymes function as catalysts in biochemical reaction. Respect of molecular genetics and that analyzes how genetic information transmitted and expressed in the cell. Finally, cell biology studies and chemical components and reactions that occur within cells. Some examples of biochemistry are glucose metabolism, that it is glycolysis is the biochemical pathway that converts glucose to pyruvate, producing energy in the form to ATP. Um, in the protein synthesis, there is the translation of messenger RNA into ribosomes as key biochemical process for protein production. Also enzymatic reaction, that is the action of enzyme amylase which breaks down a starch into simple sugar during digestion. The next one is nucleic acid. The- There is DNA replication, a biochemical process that allows cells to copy their genetic material before dividing. Another examples are is the lipid biosynthesis. That is the of formation of fatty acids from acetyl-CoA, which is essential for production of cell membranes. Also interact between that is the by the binding of antibodies and antigens, which is essential for immune system. Finally, the hormones, for example, the insulin, an hormone that regulate blood glucose levels, actual biochemical signal cells. Thank you for your attention. Bye bye.